This is the story about the Salmon of Knowledge. Long, long ago, a wise poet named Finnegas lived beside the River Boyne, where he spent his time reading and writing poetry. In the River Boyne, there was a magic fish called the Salmon of Knowledge. It was said that the first person to taste its flesh would be wiser than all other men. Finnegas had spent 7 years trying to catch the fish, but had no luck. One day, as Finnegas was fishing, a young boy approached him. His name was Fionn. His father was Cool, the leader of the Fianna. Fionn wanted to be the leader of the Fianna one day and came to learn some skills from Finnegas. Finnegas allowed Fionn to stay with him to learn poetry and stories. In return, Fionn cleaned and cooked for Finnegas. One day, while out fishing, Finnegas caught a glimpse of the famous salmon. He grabbed a strong net to try and catch it. However, he had to be careful, as he knew that anyone who looked directly into its eyes would fall into a deep sleep. Finnegas tried to catch the fish for hours, but was not able to lure it into his net. Suddenly, the fish jumped high out of the water and looked directly at Finnegas. Fionn saw what happened and was able to wake Finnegas before he fell into a deep sleep. Finnegas covered his eyes with a cloth and tried to catch the fish again. Just as night was coming in, Finnegas felt something in his net. He had caught the magical fish, and he was very happy. The next day, Fionn prepared a fire to cook the salmon. They placed it on a spit over the fire. Finnegas went to collect some berries to have with his meal, and he asked Fionn to look after the fire. As the fish was cooking, Fionn noticed that a big blister was forming on its back. Fionn pressed the blister and burned his thumb. Without thinking, he put his thumb in his mouth to cool it down. Fionn had then realized that he had tasted the Salmon of Knowledge, and he was the first person to do so. When Finnegas returned from collecting his berries, the wise poet noticed that there was something different about Fionn. There was a new wisdom in Fionn's eyes. "Have you eaten the salmon?" asked Finnegas. Fionn told Finnegas that he had burnt his tongue and that he had put it in his mouth. Finnegas knew at once that Fionn now had the wisdom of the Salmon of Knowledge, and was very sad, because Finnegas knew that he would now never be the wisest man in Ireland. But he was very happy for Fionn. Soon afterwards, Fionn left Finnegas. Fionn went on to become the leader of the Fianna, and become one of the greatest warriors that Ireland has ever known.